Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today the weekend is unfortunately in our rear view mirror, but the good news is we're driving straight for a collision between MbL playing as the Teutons in red and Hera playing as the Goths in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to go up to Feudal Age ASAP. Will he get the second gobble gobble? Yes he does. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Teutons, like the Byzantines, are a civilization designed to take a beating and still stay standing. All of their barracks, all of their stable units come with free extra melee armor starting in Castle and Imperial. Their siege units can be upgraded to get a big +4 melee armor boost. Their towers have extra space for more units to garrison inside, and by the way, that means more arrows. And speaking of, by the way, that applies to their town centers. Take a look at their garrison space, 0 out of 25. Compared to the generic 0 out of 15. Now they also get murder holes and herbal medicine for free, so units can heal super fast in castles while they are protected against melee units right from the get-go. And those very same Teutonic castles can be upgraded to get a huge range boost, +3, and actually fire arrows when garrisoned by infantry, which in Age of Empires is kind of a big deal since usually only villagers and archer units garrisoned inside a castle will ever add arrows to that castle. Now on the field of battle, all Teutonic units do have a higher resistance to conversion, and if they're hurt, they can be healed by monks from twice the distance, both of which is great news for their first unique unit, the Teutonic Knight, an incredibly powerful, heavily armored infantry unit, but one that is incredibly slow. And to support a big, hungry population, Teutonic farms do come at a 40% discount. Now pivoting to the south, we're taking a look at the Goths, a civilization that is about as single-minded as a Civ can be in Age of Empires, pushing its players towards one military building and one military building alone. I am referring to the barracks. These structures start out the game working 20% faster, but can be upgraded to work more than 200% faster, which is fantastic because the Goths in Imperial Age get an extra 10 population space, capping out at 210 versus the usual 200. Now, all Goth infantry units do become progressively cheaper as the game goes on, all the way up to Imperial Age, where they're discounted by a massive 35%. And also, all of these very same Gothic cheaper infantry units, do come with a progressive attack bonus against buildings, which does make them pretty damn good at taking down castles, structures, and anything and everything, pulling it down and tearing it down as one would expect from the Goths. Let's put it like that. The Goth barracks itself can also be upgraded to train the unique unit of the Goth, a pretty decent infantry unit on its own right, the Huskarl, one that comes with a very important set of skills, and that set of skills is hunting down and killing archer units. The Huskarl comes with a big attack bonus against archers and base pierce armor that basically makes them immune from almost all archer fire in the game. Now for the Goths, to support their big, hungry population, their hunters are stronger, they carry more, and their hunt lasts 20% longer. They also get Loom researched in just under a second, which has two implications. Number one, Goth villagers can be much harder to kill right from the very start of the game. Take a look at Hera's gold, -50 below the usual 100, which tells us that these villagers already have Loom, and the fact that it's researched in under a second means that they can usually pop out an extra villager if they want before heading up to Feudal, because the amount of time it takes to research Loom is also the exact same amount of time it takes to train a villager. So if you're not busy getting Loom like MbL is right now, still 3, 2, 1 seconds away, the Goth can train an extra unit in the meantime. Looks like Hera will be going up off the back of 20 villagers, MbL choosing 18 to be the lucky number. Let's take a look at his base as he has already clicked up the Feudal. Primary gold off to the side, a little exposed, but not exactly a super fast cavalry-centric civilization are the Goths, so not a terrible location for the gold, not a terrible location for the primary stone as well. It looks like he's got a couple of gold patches at the top left and the bottom left of the screen here. And where is his additional stone? Also on the bottom left, right as Hera moves in, and we'll discover the town center takes a bit of archer fire, little clicking there, left, right, and the scout gets the hell out of there. Did he see the barracks go down? No, he didn't. So Hera missing this structure here to the very forward of MbL's base. Let's take a look at his forests, by the way. 1, 2, 3 in a decent triangle shape, which means they're not very badly positioned for a wall off, especially here at the front. So MbL's base, not bad at all in terms of walling off. Let's take a look at Hera's. Primary gold, a lot more secure in the back. Primary stone, a little bit off to the side, but also not terribly positioned, kind of off to the left. Speaking of off to the left, 1, 2 additional gold piles off to the right. We see his extra stone and his forest also 1, 2, 3. Generally, Age of Empires, a pretty symmetrical game. If you start with 3 forests, you best believe your opponent has 3 as well. Although Hera's, the entire western portion of his settlement completely open. I don't know that I would call this the front position. This is kind of the side position here. And the back, much easier to wall off than MbL's. But MbL's forward is much easier to wall off. That being said, he is making no attempt to wall this off as a spearman moves forward. And now that slinking noise tells us that we are seeing both players hitting Feudal Age. Our Goth 1 villager ahead for now, but also behind 1 military count. Let's take a look at what that military consists of. It looks like our Teuton is training 2 archers as well. By the way, MbL didn't really see where his opponent is, which is very interesting. What happened to his scout? I don't see any kills on the map. I see the scouts here. He is patrolling the back of the base. What is he expecting out of our Goth at the 10-minute mark of the game? That both his archer and his scout are here patrolling while his spearman is on exploration duty. I mean, he saw the additional Tetris piece of gold. He saw the square later, and now finally at the 11-minute mark of the game discovers his opponent's settlement. But his opponent already has a few counter units out. A skirmisher, a spearman will be able to zone out this Teutonic spearman. And because we're not yet in castle, this guy does not come with any kind of extra armor. Looks like our Goth is now ahead in the military count. Will this be the first kill of the game? No, it will not. Hera absconds with the scout, and the spearmen start tickling away at each other. Let's take a look at this very high stakes chase that is unfolding before us in Feudal Age. Okay, they back off of one another. Scouts have to be careful here. Spearmen should do a pretty good job taking down 18 HP, 2 HP left on the scout. Who will get the first kill? Will it be the scout with 6 HP? Will it be the scout with 2 HP? Who will be first to die on this Arabian map here? Uh-oh. I mean, the scout has to be super careful. He can't even body block this villager because the villager might just turn around. Oh, and does exactly that. Pokes the horse's ass, and down goes Hera's only scout. But does our Goth care? He's here with a bipedal army made up of skirmishers and spearmen. They should do a decent job against MbL's army, which is kind of 50-50 here. That being said, Hera just now loses his, I guess, second unit, as well as both players even up the kill count. No villager kills just yet. And our Goth is still 1 villager ahead. And as now he's starting to pull ahead of Hera, picking off the more expensive archer units. Fantastic there by him. Does trade out 1 skirmisher for 1 skirmisher. MbL moves forward with a few basket-carrying villagers. Although they drop the baskets, they whip out their swords, and they try to attack his army as well. These berry bushes are so exposed in the forward position. I really thought when MbL plopped down this barracks that we were going to get to see some kind of wall off, especially, I mean, look how easy this is to wall off. A house over here, some palisades over here. Why did he not do that? Why was his scout in the back? Why was his archer in the back? Was he expecting some kind of shenanigans out of our Goth? But the shenanigans didn't come. What came was a very, very slow moving army, 4 versus 1. We know how that story ends as these skirmishers now attack a farm, it looks like, trying to get these villagers off their game, you know? Skirmishers are more of a, I've said this before, they're not going to kill your units. I don't even really expect this villager to die, maybe. Okay, never mind. He'll probably get repurposed somewhere up here to the north. No, he is getting healed up inside the town center. Skirmisher is more of a mind game unit, you know. Villagers, when they're attacked, they don't fight back. They run away. And so when they see this unit that attacks right now on a 3 against a unit that has 2 armor, does 1 damage. Oh no, the villager's back. MbL is playing with fire here. You do not want to lose a villager. You do not want to be the first one to get a villager loss. I mean, repurpose him. Move him up north. Get him working on this farm. And bring the more Hail villager down south. In any event, Hera is still here. Our Goth with a pretty big army. 13 count to 8. And is all 13 over here? No, only 10 of it's over here. More and more units. I see blue dots streaming across the map. But he may have overstayed his welcome. This is a fresh 4 kills for MbL, who has the defender's advantage. He just has to go from here to here, which is what? 3, 4, 7, 10 tiles, compared to Hera's probably what? 80 tiles, 100 tiles that he has to cross to get to this battlefront. But Hera's done a good job getting MbL off these berries onto the slower gathering farms. That being said, let's take a look at resources and see what's going on, because you know, when you're MbL right now taking on this kind of aggression, you must be wondering what's happening, because Hera isn't really pushing in. He's not really exploring other avenues of attack. He's not trying to lame. I mean, look at this, how exposed this wood line is. Hera's not trying to do any of that. So MbL must be wondering what's going on here. And the truth is, take a look at Hera's resources: 20 villagers on food, 7 on gold. He looks like he wants to rush up to castle, but honestly, so does MbL. So both players kind of happy for this low stakes engagement. I sometimes wonder, what the hell is even the point of something like this? Why not just save the food count of both of these units, even though the food count isn't really that expensive, and just rush your butt up to Castle Age? It seems like they both want to do exactly that. Both of them sitting at about 350 to 400 gold. Both of them sitting at about 700 food. So it's pretty obvious what the players want to do at this point. Not too sure why Hera just keeps reinforcing with these skirmishers and then just taking these full-on frontal engages. Oh my goodness, take a look at the time they're going up. Literally at the exact same time. My eyes are pivoting left to right on the screen. I feel like Hera has a 1 second advantage, but we'll see in 2 minutes. We'll keep an eye out on the bottom right of our screen. We'll see when the Roman numeral 2 becomes a Roman numeral 3. In the meantime, let's take a look at what the players are building. We know they've got the requisite structures, an archery range, and a blacksmith for Hera. 2 extra barracks. Okay, 2 extra barracks. The Goths, they love their barracks. Got the blacksmith, the archery range, 2 stables for our Teuton. So probably going to see knights out of him. He needs to get a bit more on the food if he wants to get more and more knights out. For now, why is he spending all this food on scouts? I mean, in a minute and 5 seconds, they're going to come with a little bit of extra armor. But what's the point of just spending their 160 food? That's enough food for 2 knights. He's getting upgrades. He wants his gold mining upgrades as well. Hera, finally. Is this the first time he's seeing this part of the map? No, it's not. So he's been here before. And this is what I was asking. Why was he taking this full frontal headbutting engagement here when there was fresh gold, fresh lumber that he could have absolutely been pushing into? Loses his spearman to the villagers? That's hilarious. So MbL flipping the script here, saying, you want to kill me? Why don't I just kill you instead? Oh, and I wasn't looking at the bottom right of our screen. In any event, it looks like both of them hitting literally photo finish difference between them. Monastery for our Goth. Was I right about the knights? Yeah, of course I was. 6. I shouldn't say of course I was. You guys know I sometimes don't exactly call things the way they end up happening. But Hera's entire army is gone. And I ask again, what the hell was the point of that army? He is going, oh yeah, he's going long swordsman squire. We know our Goth is going barracks. We'll see what the monk is for. Whether that's to convert the knights, whether that's to gather relics, whether that's for all of the above. What's the movement speed on a swordsman right now? 0.99. So they should be faster than these skirmishers. Hera could have chased these guys. You know who they're not faster than? These scouts over here. And by the way, this is about as good as our Teuton is going to get right now. Who, even though he just has scale barding armor, comes with a +2 armor because we are in castle. So each one of these units out of the stables will have extra melee armor for free. Again, I really am wondering why was Hera full frontal? Why did MbL train 3 scouts? Hera here with a bit of an assortment of units. I don't mind this at all. The longswordsmen to take out the skirmishers, the pikemen to zone out the knights, monks moving in as well. Army counts identical, villager counts identical, both players getting man-at-arms. Okay, we're going to see an infantry battle here. I don't know who this is benefiting. One has extra armor, one has a 30% discount, I believe, at this point. a conversion happening. You can see this cool new icon here by Capture Age. MbL's knights are not at home. They're here trying to bust into the side of Hera's base. Oh, he could have just waited literally one more minute. And once this tree stump, 14 wood, disappears, he could have easily gone in there. All of a sudden, though, Hera's here with a whole bunch of infantry. Would love to see some armor upgrades on these guys. Right now, again, they are just stuck at +1 with scale mail armor. Gambesons? For our Teuton? What the hell does he need Gambesons for? Okay. Am I missing something? Let me know in the comments below. Sometimes I react without thinking. Ooh, 3 pikemen lie dead on the battlefield as one knight. Holy shit, he's got 5 HP. He's got 5 HP and he's taking a fight. I would not be taking a fight if I was this knight. I would be running back to some of these Teutonic knights, which, by the way, monks rather, that heal from 8 tiles away compared to the usual 4. Hera here opting to convert who? Obviously the knight with a lot more HP than 5. He gets him, and all of a sudden we've got our first Gothic knight here. Who will take this battle? I feel like high ground is going to dictate a lot of this, but never mind. Right as I say that, 3 pikemen pop out. It looks like Hera's attack in front of MbL's base has somewhat stalled as he cleans up at home. Both players just focusing on the front of their bases. These 2 scouts, I mean, they know they're going to die, right? Oh no, you missed an opportunity to get the monk. That was very sour there. The monk is alone. He's exposed. You run circles around these infantry units. Siege Workshop. Hera channeling his inner Huang whips out a big juicy mangonel, a second one on the way as well, as MbL scouts abscond. This time Hera's running away first, MbL's running away later, but MbL is walling himself off here. Ooh, needs to defend. He creates a backup palisade. I mean, you're not the Goths. Why are you so afraid to spend a little bit of stone to build a wall? These guys are going to chew through any kind of structures. Remember, they get a progressive attack bonus. Look at that, buildings +5. So your palisade with a massive 250 HP is not going to stand very long against a bunch of infantry units. Hera's army count is double that of his opponent. I mean, how many barracks does he have? 4 barracks working 20% faster is basically like having almost 5 barracks. Buy 4, get 1 free for the Goths. Holy moly. I mean, we've usually seen the Goths wait until they get up to Imperial Age before they start spamming the hell out of infantry, but look at Hera. He is not relenting. He is taking a full frontal. These mangonels, I feel like, are doing more damage than good. We'll see at the end. I mean, 4 kills, 2 of them friendly fire. 5 kills, 3 of them friendly fire. That being said, look at the army counts now. Hera lost 15 or so units. MbL lost his entire army. And the forward town center is down. Holy moly. Well, there you go. There is about as basic, as simple, and about as straightforward a game of Age of Empires if we've ever seen one. And Hera just playing to the strengths of his civilization. Do you see any extra town center? Did he spend a single block of stone? Not that he can put up walls or anything like that. He is the Goths. But he did not spend any of it. Instead, he plopped down 4 barracks. He's training 2 longswordsmen at a time. That could potentially be 3, add a few pikemen. But he just absolutely ran into here and just overwhelmed. And like I was saying literally a minute ago, generally in the games with the Goths that we've seen that make it to the later stages of the game, I don't know if 31 minutes is really quote unquote later stages of a game. This is a pretty mid castle, I would say. The Goths generally waiting until Imperial, upgrading their infantry as they go along. Hera not really upgrading the attack. He doesn't have iron casting. He's stuck on forging. His armor upgrades are pretty good. I don't know why the hell MbL got Gambesons. I mean, I don't know who you think what kind of archer units you think you're about to face. Maybe that's what Hera's plan was. Inundate your opponent with skirmishers so they think they're going to take more skirmisher fire. But why the hell would a long swordsman be afraid of a skirmisher? I have no idea. In any event, wow. With these mangonels, okay, let's take a look. 9 kills, 5 of them friendly fire. Now, obviously, Hera wins the game. We know that. But that is just an atrocious ratio. That's more than a 50% ratio where you killed more of your own units than your opposing units. Now, you know what makes it feel a little better that you killed more of your own units? 2 things. Number 1, you destroyed your opponent's town center. And number 2, your units are right now 30% cheaper. So they are moving forward more and more of these units. Look at this beautiful spam. Where is the villager that built this siege workshop? Why didn't he plop down a few barracks over here? Look at the amount of wood that Hera has. He's not really training that many pikemen that he needs with that much wood. And look at the villager kill count. 19 villagers killed, probably all in the last few minutes, compared to 0, 82 kills to 63. So technically, I guess MbL killed more military. Obviously, the defender usually, okay, kills more than the person going offense, just because of the way defense versus offense works. But MbL here just a tiny bit more in terms of the kill count. 24 skirmishers, 57 longswordsmen. Hera with his usual 200 to 300 APM. Halfway through the game, MbL towards the end of the game. Can't really see the economies being too different here either. Yeah, about 10% difference. The Goth going about 1,000 extra food. He's down on gold. And yeah, nobody collecting any stone, nobody collecting any relics. We're just 30 minutes in, and a little bit more wood for our Goth as well. So he was ahead in the trash resources. In the gold, he was down about 500, 450, 460, whatever that difference is. But he didn't really care because, again, these units, first of all, longswordsmen, not expensive to start with, but now they're 30% off. And wow, a clean, simple game. It wasn't the longest game in the world. The kill count was pretty impressive, though, for 31 minutes. Usually at 31 minutes, the kill count is in the 40s, in the 30s, sometimes in the 50s. MbL expanded as well as he could to the back. Ultimately, though, Hera with the full frontal engage right from the very start of the game, doing what the Goths do best, overwhelming his opponent with crazy, ridiculous amounts of infantry. It looks like he got a few more conversions. These monks making their way forward, probably to help heal maybe, and just tearing shit down. I mean, there's that, I forget what the name of the painting is, but there's that very famous painting of the Goths when they sacked Rome, pulling down the statue. I even forget what statue, man. Do you ever feel like you're just having cell phones didn't really make us that much smarter, just made us stupider? Because I used to know the name of the painting. I used to know the name, which god's statue they were tearing down, but it's a very famous painting. If you type into Google Goths sack of Rome painting, it will probably be the first 50 results. And that is exactly what the Goths did here. Hera overwhelms MbL in a short period of time. Look at that freaking army count. He is about 650% bigger army. And with that big, juicy Gothic army, he takes the Teutonic settlement, destroys the town center, gets the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.